from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer. With boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Está Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
Yeah. Well, ask me what it is that she's saying. I tell you, I don't understand a word. But nevertheless, I don't understand it, but I do love it. It's Christmas in July. They're winding down that session right about now. Yeah. Hey everybody, good morning to you. How you doing? Neighbors, friends, family. Good morning to you, and of course, welcome everybody. Yeah, it's good to be getting up with you this, what it is, Tuesday morning. Of course, you are locked on, tuned in to New Era TT Radio, Heartbeat of the Caribbean, and yes, we are taking you above and beyond. As always, I want to say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And everything that we do there, God, let it be a blessing unto you. Before I have truly said, Charles, happy am I as always to be in this space with you. I want to say a very thank you so much. Yeah, to the breakfast show.
Good morning. Good morning. Get up. It's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your double or your morning drink.
Good morning, everybody, and of course, welcome. Good to have you inside of the breakfast show. I almost took you back to yesterday. Yeah, it happens like that every now and then. But we are glad to be here with you on the net, and it's a beautiful Tuesday morning, as I said. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. And let me say good morning to my co-host, to Richard, who will join us at some point in time, and Wendell, who look like one of his devices already get shut.
Morning, Sir Charles. I actually don't have my devices today. That's what I have to use.
Okay.
I have to use my phone. So, good morning, and good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad. Good morning, listeners all over the globe. Good to see you. Can you tell if I'm properly on time?
But you're sounding kind of a little muffled, eh?
Muffled, okay.
It's probably is a device, you know.
Yeah, it's because I have to put the phone down and the speaker is on down the basic phone. Right. I think that might be why I'm getting better.
Well, you're sounding. I can't say if you're sounding better as yet, but.
Well, I mean, to be comment here, I'll have to hold my phone. If I hold it from the
all right, well, let's see how it goes, huh? Watch as we go along.
Yeah, but anyway, happy birthday to those celebrating birthday today. I did see a greeting too, but because I'm using my phone, I can't read. I have to come off camera.
Right. Yeah, it can do both.
I can't do both at the same time. I mean, so my apologies for those who have sent me messages or who will be sending me messages. I can't access them. Only when on the break I could come off and go and look at it, right? So happy birthday to all those celebrating birthdays today. Have an absolutely fantastic. I saw Robert Taylor send me a message, but Robert, I'll have to check it up and get back to you, right? But I know today is something that we could be on before the same public and see them celebrating a birthday. That much Today, July 21st, 2020. All right. Happy birthday, Nicole. All right. Let's see if I can see chat.
Yeah, well, I don't have any birthdays, I don't think, right now. As we wind down this month of July.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anybody who's celebrating anything, whether it be birthday or anniversary, whatever it is, just just have a good one.
Yeah, I know Harper and his wife celebrated their anniversary on Saturday, 1,000 years. Stephen Harper and Kathleen Harper. Kathleen was I don't know how she ended with that. Some men love, yes. Anyway.
See why I played the thing yesterday? Now you can understand. You understand? Yeah. But that guy, maybe he does all those things that his wife loves. That is
or maybe the wife doing everything he loves.
But something in the communication working. So thank God.
No, every now and then God does turn up a nice woman. Nice. You understand? Every now and then. Anyway, for those who are celebrating anything, have an absolutely fantastic day. Today is going to be a challenge using my device. I'm using my phone as a device. But if you have a message, send it on the chat. I'll read it on the chat. Because I could actually come off camera on the chat and read it.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do it. The problem now is...
Yeah, it's how you monitor everything else now.
Is if I touch something that knocks me off the show. That's the only problem. Let's see.
Hi, good morning, guys. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Sir Charles. And good morning to our listeners and viewers, wherever you are across the planet, whatever time zone. So I see you a little different, Wendell. Is it that you're using your phone?
Yes, I am. I forgot my laptop and my tablet somewhere else, and well.
I mean somewhere else.
Way too much.
That statement. I mean somewhere else.
Don't give away too much.
So it's only this morning. I said, I don't have my laptop and my tablet. What do I get out here and get out of here? And then something.
Richard,
yes.
Richard, like he just didn't make it home.
I did actually. I did.
It's not even one thing he forgets. Sir Charles, it's two.
Yes.
Two things.
And that background will remember for years of the power breakfast. So that's where I used to sit for the power breakfast. If you look at the back.
Yes, I see your background. Yes.
That's the background from years ago.
Yeah, you need to project a little bit more with your voice, though.
Yeah.
Because of how you have your camera situated, you need to speak a little louder this morning.
Yeah, well,
when you're speaking louder, it's clear.
Yeah.
You need to speak louder.
All right. So, folks,
exactly.
Is that better?
That is better.
Yeah, the show. And the boss said, if you have your headphones, put on your headphones.
Listen, me or see whichever one of them text me.
Speak loudly.
I had an interesting conversation with one of the bosses last night. Oh, boy, what a conversation!
You have me confused because you have many bosses, so I'm not so sure which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
We only have two.
Yeah. But
you're talking about this.
You have to take your phone off for isolation. So you know who that is?
Yeah, that one is the country one, the one with all the back roads.
No, that's not
There's the musical one.
Yeah. It's the techie one.
Yeah, that techie one is miserable.
Yeah. He said take your phone off for isolation.
Oh God. But he traveled once a month. Yeah, he gave some shots on a plane the other day.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, wherever he's at, he's located, he's monitored. That is a boss. You understand? That is a boss.
Anyway, let's use and then get into the show and get into the chats.
Yeah, let's see if we can do good music. Kind of along this morning.
And failed by just 1 point. Fortunately, Shaquille O'Neal saw our story, flew to see him, and offered to pay Jordan's expenses for a few months so he could fully focus on retaking the exam.
I'm going to be on you, brother. Make sure you get it done. Yes, sir.
It helped. Jordan passed. And just last week,
here we go,
was sworn in.
Jordan Wilmore.
Much to the delight of his new boss.
Yeah. That is dedication.
That's real dedication, yeah.
Is he
story.
O'Neal is as tall as he is?
Yeah.
About the same height.
Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
Good story, Sir Charles. So shall we? You know, I had a cousin that had a birthday over the weekend, Jillian. So I did tell her happy birthday and all of the cousins. So happy birthday, Jillian. Just in case you're listening, she's out in Florida, in Orlando, I think, or close to Orlando. So happy birthday, Jilly. Well, belated birthday now. I suppose we can get into greeting people this morning, Wendell.
Yes, we can, Richard. Let me just switch around here. All right. Eunice Dublin came in at 11:57. Good morning, Wendell. You are the light of the show. I love you. Morning, I love you too, Eunice. Thanks for the kind sentiments. Odell Guy from Sangre Grande. Good morning and blessings to all. Felix Kozo also says, good Tuesday morning. Kenny in Harlem, Pamela O'Connor, Robert Allen also says, good morning. Chris Toussaint up early. One person, I don't know. Don't want to talk about it. Margaret Thomas, blessed good morning. Tinman, a blessed Tuesday. Diane Payne, morning. Marcia Rock. John Cato says good morning to the NETT crew and viewers all over the globe. Have a blessed day today as we attempt to navigate this turbulent time we are living in. You can say it better, John. Deborah Noel said, greetings everyone. Manuela Peters, Father, thanking God. Father, thanking you for another day. Carol Guevara, Katian Charles, Slip Money Grip, Bernadette and Alicia Yates, Carla Hercules, Arlene Lewis, Mike Eastman, Garvin Frank, Margot Batiste, a.k.a. Margot, Kerwin Duke, most wonderful day to everyone. Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona, Norris, Wayne Ramsey out there in Fort Lauderdale, Boy Bidet, David, Ali, Marlon Murphy, in North Balsarian, Robert Harper in St. Anne's, Robert, nice patronage the other day. Empress Reyes Lal, Ingrid says, Render, I agree with you, Dublin. You are the life in you. Thank you so much. Franco for say, well, they're making it hard to walk away. No, they're planning. Especially that lady, one of the sports. Leandra, the panda, Charles, you there?
Yes, I
Charles.
am.
What's the lady name who came, who won one of the prizes? Leandra? My God, what?
Exactly right.
Not having my phone is not having the use of my phone.
Is Leandra or Laverne?
Laverne. Right. From my yard. That lady from my yard. That lady came down from my yard. But she drove down from my yard yesterday to get her prize. I met her for the first time. She and her son. I said, but you can't tell me it's all from my yard. And you take her I can drive all this way. I say because two of the prizes, of course, was movie tickets. I say, but you had a good movie song one time. You can't drive back down here just to go movie song. You understand? If she says she'll make a date and
Wow.
so good. Nice meeting you yesterday, Yoni.
Laverne Edwards.
Laverne Edwards. Ooh, very like that for Charles, right? Sankofa said bountiful graces. Carol Guevara can't understand most of what we're living through. I hope it's better.
If you speak loudly, it's better, but you're not keeping to that rule.
Well, I don't know what to do then.
I said you're not speaking loudly. You're going back to your regular tone.
Well, I don't know what to do. What to do?
That is it.
Speak loudly.
The good thing is only the sun woman fast. Julia Samantha, good morning, guys. Sankofa asks what is it? I'm home, Sankofa. Robert Taylor is saying, thank you guys for Mother's Day gift. Thank you. Robert's wife also came and collected his gift yesterday. Arlene, morning, Arlene. And today is Arlene's mom's birthday. Tori Oliver, also known as Anne-Marie. She is the best mother-in-law. Robert, so happy birthday to Tori Oliver, mother of Arlene, whom I met yesterday. Ron LeSantis, that's all I have to say. Good morning. Joyce Phillips, Mr. R. Rich, you have a lot of share. Trying to balance of this. I want to be doing this. So we come hand in hand. Trust me. You're getting each other, you're getting it. That's what it is. Right? Just know that. You and everybody else. Blast rising from Ava Smith. Morning, Florence Barbie, John Cato. Very good news story. I was touched by the senior officers' emotions, and yes, it is very good. Where there is a will, there is a way. Tim Fire says good morning. Gary Francis says Wendell from the headset. Wendell, you are breaking up. What to do? It's either a sore for breaking up or breaking up. Good point.
Both.
You can't be sore from me.
All right, I walk into that one. Miami Vice.
Anyway, those are the greetings of the chat, folks.
Oh my word! Let me just get to the people on the WhatsApp this morning. Let me see where it all started this morning, and we go all the way back down. We had a lot of people on the WhatsApp this morning, which is good. Starting with all right. Yeah, this is all right. Suzanne, good morning to you guys. Bishop Johnson, good morning to you. Zena, good morning. Also to Shoma Paul. Shoma Paul was in very early this morning also. Captain Ron in Orlando. Brenda in Pinal. Frank out there in Aruca. Cal out of Caranag. Senator Mr. Billy in Powder Magazine. Peter Wilson and the people names today. Kent in Lavancel. Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada. Rena Budu Jennings is also here. Good day to you. Joyce Phillips, good morning to you, and of course all the people on Dial Caribbean TV. All right, thanks for locking up. It's now 28 minutes past the hour, 6 o'clock. We go for that break.
Before I go, let me just say a happy birthday. I said about my cousin Jillian over the weekend, I think it was, but today's another cousin's birthday that I was just reminded by my sister, Anne-Marie. In Canada, she's in Canada, so happy birthday, Anne-Marie. She's actually Jillian's sister, so they're a few days apart. So Anne-Marie, a happy birthday to you today.
All right, happy birthday, Anne-Marie.
Okay. All right. What you have to know is when you're not talking, you have to mute.
Oh, okay.
Where the echo is coming from?
You're getting an echo from me?
Yeah, at times. Like I think it's the song coming back from us when you're not talking, it comes back. So you get that echo.
Okay. Well, Lord, you give me a real hard work today.
No, you get yourself the hard work. No, you forget your devices.
Go home. Go home.
I want to be clear. 2 devices.
Yes.
Yes.
You can have a checklist when you're leaving home, you know.
No, when I went down the road yesterday with the laptop, I was supposed to go back to collect the laptop, and I went to PriceSmart and then just headed straight to do it. You know what I mean? Because trust me, the most amount of traffic is in St. James and the book navigating, St. James and the book. Most of the traffic I enjoy is navigating, coming through there and getting stuff.
All right, so anyhow, we go for the break. We will be back.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio Halloween Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs, Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumbox, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kure, Bats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall and Eastgate Mall, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your cooler, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Halloween on the scene.
Okay.
All right, so we are back. And of course, this is the point at which we get into the news headlines for today.
Well, you know, Richard, you had to do both for me.
Yeah, you actually sounded decent there. But anyway.
Because I moved location.
All right, just now. Let me see if I can do Express. I was getting ready for Guardian. All right, so the Trinidad Express for this morning. The Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago defends judges. So they would have sent out a media release yesterday defending and saying people should not criticize, but should refrain from making derogatory remarks about judges in the Court of Appeal decision.
The Law Association don't know social media.
Well, they were just saying, they put out a press release saying that. Of course,
but you get more
they get criticized by social media. Exactly. You know how it goes. Yeah, half a dozen of one, 6 of the other. So, TNT joins rescue mission. Trinidad and Tobago has deployed air and, well, I'll have to actually go into the article, which is...
That's in Guyana.
I am assuming so. It's difficult to get into the article directly. Just now, let me see here. Trinidad and Tobago has deployed air and travel support and crew of 27, including 7 divers, to assist in rescue and recovery efforts in Guyana, Defense Minister Wayne Sturge said yesterday. So that's that headline. A defiant, unbeaten. Well, this is sports. I'm gathering. A defiant, unbeaten 56-run 9th-wicket stand between Jid Guli and Captain Jomel Warrican rescued the West Indies select 11 after a dramatic middle order collapse left the home side in trouble on the 3rd day of their 4-day tour match against Pakistan at the Queen's Park Oval yesterday. So that's some sports news for you, just in case you didn't know. Roach to be honored for historic 300 milestone. So if you wanted a little bit about the Law Association, the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago has appealed for restraint and respect to the public commentary surrounding the Court of Appeal's recent decision in the Hadith matter, warning that personal attacks on judges risk undermining confidence in the administration of justice. So that's what their press release says. And
Stick up in there. There was a whole article in the front page of the newspaper today about a magistrate that is a senior magistrate that is soon to be arrested. You remember that? You remember the same magistrate apparently held a kind of conference with 2 other senior attorneys. Prakash Ramada was one, to say that the magistrate did nothing wrong, and in other words, almost self-identifying himself. Not a peep out of the Law Association. Not a peep since that article, those 2 articles came. But it was one day followed by the other day. Nothing. The Law Association needs to take several steps back. Several. Okay?
Well, I think they need to take several steps forward in terms of being having more commentary on issues. I think sometimes they are a little too silent. But Captain Engineer test positive for drugs. The MB Barima's captain and first engineer have been arrested by Guyana police after both tested positive for narcotics. That's the boat that sank in Ghana. And that's basically the headlines for the very difficult to read Trinidad Express online. So Trinidad Guardian for today. Let's get into that. Following last week's triple and double homicides, TTPS boasts of reducing murders. DCP Benjamin reports there were 7 fewer killings this year than last year, which he says officers continue to create history by slashing crime.
Create history?
By slashing crime. Not concerned about attacks against judges following Hadid ruling. Alexander says new home invasion law working. 2 quakes shaped TNT yesterday. TNT deployed air and sea crews to Guyana. TNT Stock Exchange investor confidence is returning. Maximizing value from data centers in Trinidad and Tobago. That's an article, I guess. The business of football. Cement vehicle sales point to slowing non-energy sector. Is TNT being targeted for data center dumping? I think that was a headline from yesterday too. But I could go into sports. Is sports living up to its core values? That's an article by Brian Lewis. Hard work beats talent. Jana's journey. TNT's under-19s defeated Leewards while Barbados stays unbeaten. The World Cup left us with more than memories, and Pakistan batters dominate against Windies Select 11. And that's it for the 2 dailies this morning, the Trinidad Guardian and the Trinidad Express. The Trinidad Tobago Guardian and the Trinidad Tobago Express. Let me not leave Tobago out of it.
All right.
So that's about the newspapers.
story. I mean, that situation in Guyana, though, that's very worrisome. That the captain and co-pilot have been arrested for using drugs whilst operating the boat. But how did the boat capsize? Did they say what caused it?
I don't know.
Did they run into something? It was it a wave? What happened?
I think one of the reports said it may have been a wave that capsized
But
the
it
boat.
looked nighttime. Anyway, maybe the photo that they showed was a nighttime picture. But I haven't read the story after is where the boat was going to, where it was coming from, who were the people on board. But I know that out of the 130 something people, only 67 have been recovered, rescued, right? That's not good after all this time, though.
And they're saying it may be more than that, because undocumented persons may have been on the boat, you know.
Yeah, not everybody may be on the manifest.
Oh God.
Because I think it was like a leisure. Was it like a leisure ride or something like that?
I'm not too sure if it was. You know, it looks like, but I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But there were children on board.
Okay.
I believe there were children on board too. So I think it was like a leisure thing. But I'm not clear. Maybe we need to connect with somebody in Ghana who knows the story. Maybe a media person in Ghana.
Yeah.
Don't we have somebody we speak to in Ghana?
We did. Maybe in the first dispensation, we used to speak with someone. I remember.
Yeah. Didn't we speak to somebody when they had their elections recently? We did.
I think we did.
Not yet.
I'm sure somebody will send. If they send me the story on my phone, I'll get it next time. That's exactly what transpired with the MV Bury. Is that what they call it? MV Bury? Yeah. We find out. All right, so let's go. Did you know? We can open the line. But the police.
A Chinese high-speed train is slowly pulling into the station. At first it looks calm, almost quiet, but a few seconds later, everything changes. The train leaves the platform and starts flying down the track. The whole body stays smooth, but the speed keeps climbing. Now the camera cuts inside the cabin. Look at the screen above the aisle. It shows 603 kilometers per hour. That is about 375 miles per hour. For a train, that is absolutely insane. At this speed, you are not just talking about normal rail travel anymore. You are getting close to aircraft level speed, but still riding on steel tracks. And the screen is not only showing speed, it also shows key operating data like energy use and system status. That means this is not just about going fast, it is about running fast with control. Then we see the driver's cabin. The female driver is sitting there calmly, operating the train with steady hands. No rushing, no panic. Everything looks controlled. That is what makes this so impressive. Outside, the camera moves high above the ground. From the air, the train cuts across the landscape like a silver arrow. It is moving so fast that the track almost feels too small for it. But inside the train, passengers are still sitting comfortably. No crazy shaking, no dramatic movement. Just a smooth ride at a speed most people would never expect from a train. Then the weather changes. Heavy snow covers the track area. Visibility gets worse. The whole scene looks cold and dangerous, but the train keeps moving. Still steady, still smooth, still locked onto the rail. This is where high-speed rail technology really proves itself. Speed is impressive, but speed in bad weather is a different level. And then comes the most surprising test. A coin is placed upright by the window. The train is still running fast. The scenery outside is rushing by, but the coin does not fall. It barely even moves. That one tiny coin says more than 1,000 words. It shows how stable the train is. It shows how precise the track is. And it shows how advanced China's high-speed rail technology has become. At the end, the train keeps racing forward. Station, cabin, snow, speed, stability, all in one video. This is why people call it China speed, because it is not just fast. It is fast, smooth, stable, and built for the future.
Can you imagine with a train like that you would go from Arriva to Port of Spain in like 3 minutes?
I actually did a bullet train ride in China.
And you speed up and slow it down because you reach.
because we rode, I can't remember, we went from Beijing to some far-flung place. I think we spent about 4 or 5 hours on a bullet train. You know? Of course, you can't see anything. You really don't know where you're going. You know, and you're just there in the train. You're sleeping most times. You know what I mean? But there's very little to see, actually. You know what I mean? But I did experience that, a bullet train ride in China.
We need half the speed of that train to link Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine you could get to South in 5 minutes, wherever you are.
Yeah. That'd be nice, huh?
Or you could get to, you know, I don't know, wherever, Miaro in 5-10 minutes, Port of Spain in 2-3 minutes. That would take out cars off the system, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Because people would be like, yeah.
That's so far behind them. That must be not even a thought in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what I was telling you yesterday, you know. When we were talking about the when Jack was talking about building the going through the mountain with the whatever it is, you know, that kind of thinking we ain't spending no money behind nothing.
That was a tunnel for cars to drive in. That was not train ride.
No, I know, but what I was saying, it was innovation, you know. It's innovation. And that's like when we see things like all these things in Japan and China, and they have things running under the sea and all kind of thing, you know, real thing them have, you know.
Yeah. For where I went recently for a good while, we drove under the sea.
Well, and look at that, and at a time that would have been probably thought so impossible, you know. Look what happened in Iran. They have a whole city underground that the US can't find. A whole city underground that the US cannot find. Wendell, imagine that.
Yeah, folks, they're saying that we all coming across squeaky. So I don't know if they say, Charles. I don't know if it affects, but they're saying we all
coming across squeaky.
Yeah, there's a squeaky noise in the back.
No, that is the noise that comes.
Oh, that's the feedback from you.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's all of us, but it's your squeaky device.
Are you still getting it?
It has come and go. That's how you speak.
Yeah, Ting was saying, the boss was saying to turn off your isolation, but did you turn on your isolation on your phone?
What did you I never see an isolation button.
I'm going to tell you that. You have to ask him if you know what the isolation is first.
No, but that would be the settings, but it's not on by default. So that's why I answered the boss and told him that's not on by default, and it's hard to imagine you, Wendell, digging into your phone to turn it on.
Exactly. So what about? The boss is making no sense.
So I'm like, wait, that would be turned on by default. That's something you actually have to turn on. Unless he's saying to actually turn it on, but he's actually saying take it off. But I'm saying it can't be on because you wouldn't have turned it on.
You see, the boss don't make sense a lot of times. You know do it, right? I'll read a couple more comments. Piggy Lugu is saying it's a government boat. It's transporting people from the hinterlands to Georgetown. And Rena Janet is saying it was reported that the boat was overloaded. Some people at the boat were not on the manifest. Those are all common. Wendy and Holland telling it those things. And that's exactly where I drove the other day, Wendy. To get across to Denmark and Sweden. Mr. Manning operates for the street to San Fernando with a big team. Well, I know the people in there could do with something because he's sorry for that lady. Yeah. Anyway, good morning to Elijah, Sunshine Pepper, Scorpion Pepper, Sunshine. Red Fire, and who else got Sean Sokofi, Sean, we have Marvin Gonzalez of the PNN, chairman of the PNN committee. We have that to policy, right? Sean, super feel, right? Those are the new people on the chat this month. We will go. Right?
Whenever he's suggesting that you pull down your screen, he's saying that it is on by default. I will respectfully disagree with him, but he's saying it's on. He said pull down your screen from your right-hand side, I guess, and see if anything that looks like is odd on your screen, I guess, like your isolation or mic. Some mic thing is, I don't know how they would call it on your phone.
I must be on twice because the first time I got knocked out, I went back in and I was already in, so I went back in, so I must be on twice.
No, we'll be seeing you twice here. We're not seeing you twice.
You're not seeing me twice?
No.
Okay. I will fix it and set I'll come
no,
up.
I'm saying just pull down. You could just pull down your screen and see if you're seeing anything enabled. That's what he's suggesting. But he's giving advice. But he's not an Android person. He's an Apple person. So when Apple people giving you advice, you just have to take it with a pinch of salt.
All right, I'll give you. But 7 o'clock, I'll fix it. Let's silence the mic.
But anyway, you know what? We could open up our lines and take some calls. What do you think of the Law Association's press release, I guess, on cautioning people on being more respectful about their criticism of judges in the Court of Appeal? I think they were concerned that people were complaining, not the first Court of Appeal decision, the second Court of Appeal decision that stayed the release of the Hadid. Certainly the Hadid seem to have a lot of support in the country from social. If you're looking at social media as a barometer, there seems to be a lot of support in terms of people feeling that they are being treated unfairly or along that line. There's a sense that you get from it.
You know why, Richard? You know why, right? First, to begin with, the claim is ludicrous. The claim of conspiracy to murder, people consider that ludicrous. Right? That's one. 2, you have identified 2 people who they were conspiring with, right? 2, or a security guard and a driver. That you've identified those 2 people. But yet still you have not detained those 2 people. Right? And then you have them in custody and you have not charged them. So that is why people take the Hadid out of it. In any other circumstance with anybody else, people would say, but what nonsense is this? You can't put superfine in that place.
Yeah. So there's a lot of commentary when you read the comments. There are a lot of people that exactly echoing what you said, Wendell. They find the entire situation is crazy. And I suppose the judges who stayed their release in terms of that Court of Appeal decision was getting a certain amount of criticism on social media for that decision. Even though it's not a substantive decision, it was purely on that on that notion about whether to stay the release while it goes to the Privy Council, because a lot of people felt, if I'm echoing what social media says, some people felt maybe it was unfair because you don't know how long it's going to take to get before the Privy Council. And because I don't think they have a date before the Privy Council as yet, do they?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Exactly. So there was a lot of commentary on that. So I think it fueled the Law Association to put forward a media report, a media release that says, well, look, you need to, be a little bit more, I suppose, prudent. They acknowledge that judicial decisions are not above critique, but they just felt that, people were taking personal attacks at the judges. Now, I didn't see that. I didn't read personal attack on judges, but then I wasn't really delving deeply into it, but I was just kind of generally looking at what people were saying. And I didn't do it for long, so. But anyway, that's what I was suggesting. So I don't know if people may have opinions on what the Law Association said.
Well, not just that, but the issue of a state of emergency and all these murders, the murders are not stopping. A young man who went missing, who went to meet some lady, apparently in Valencia, I think it was, left Mova and went to meet her. and disappeared. And they first began with had him as a missing person. Well, guess what? His body was found yesterday. His body was found. Actually, his name, he had a strange name, Kevin or something. So he had a strange name. But last night the news came that his body was found after being reported.
Was this a date he was going on?
Yeah, apparently. Because
remember that takes me back to that incident of that young guy who went to meet this girl and then disappeared.
Yeah.
Remember that incident? That was that last year?
But it's a similar situation again.
But this one, he was never found. But he just disappeared. He went to meet a girl in a restaurant or something like that. And I don't know. Dating is becoming dangerous.
Hold 1 minute there, guys. Well, good morning.
Yeah, morning, gentlemen. Not from the center. Hey, Wendell, if you could hear me here, is there any possibility you can get the Minister of Local Government, Miss Armin, I don't know, on the show? Reason for that is because I see so much misinformation going from both sides of the aisle, UNCP and them, relating to what's happening in local government. And I heard an interview that she did on another frequency. And knowing that you're one of the few remaining non-partisan, non-political, biased forms of media out there, based on your good relationship you have with her, you think there's a possibility?
I could, but you want to be more specific when you say what exactly?
Because if I go in more specific, specifically, a lot of people are talking about funds are being held back from certain boroughs or towns or whatever deliberately. Things like the place nasty and so on, and on top of that, when it comes to stuff like the program that was shut down, she gave clear examples of situations relating to ghost gangs and stuff like that we heard I heard on a different frequency, and so that's why if you wanted something a little more specific.
No problem.
Most people have their red and the yellow blinders on, selective outrage. It's so apparent. Chat, you see it.
Regardless of red or yellow, the place nasty. That one is certain. The place nasty, it's bushy, it's despicable. Understand?
Caller, good morning.
That one is not to be denied by anybody.
All right. Mr. Grant.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Grant.
Yeah, brother. I see all you're talking about people missing. It have a young boy used to come by me in Shibona. He gone missing about two months now, It was the mother and the father was talking about him last week in the papers again. He was with the Spanish girl and he was paying some money, some people were thinking. And he went to the police station and he reported to the police that they tried to extort the money from him. Because when he came by me with the girl, I tell him, I said, be careful with them Spanish, right before, One night, next thing he gone. So up to now, they can't find him yet. Right? That going over 2 months. He was the moral father at the papers last week again, but I can't remember his name offhand. Right? He disappeared. I read it and I see nothing about him. Yeah, and the thing with Jack, I just lie down and study him, I could talk about it. Yeah?
If you can talk about it, okay.
I
can't think Jack wanna see Samuel, especially a little boy. Samuel, when he comes to me like a little brother, he's picking his school.
Mr. Grant, you said all that yesterday, Mike. You forget.
Thanks, Mr. Grant.
Yeah, we don't want to go back to that today. But you said all that yesterday. You reminded us about that yesterday. I think you're forgetting.
Oh, good. You shut down the man there, yes?
Huh?
I say you shut down the man.
Yeah, but because he did say it yesterday. Like he forget he called in and spoke about that yesterday. And about the issue with Samuel.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning to the breakfast show. Thanks for taking my call. I want to speak about Sir Garfield Sobers, one of the best all-rounder out of Barbados, who represented the West Indies from all around the 50s. And I just want to say condolences to the Barbadian people. And I want to thank him for his service. Being recognized to be united. And, you know, he did some extraordinary thing in the game in terms of putting the West Indies and the Caribbean on the world map. A small country, a man come out of Barbados, and really had the pleasure of physically seeing him at the Queen's Park Oval, sitting in the Carib stands, you know, and watching him when he walk out with his color up. I remember that, distinguished way about him, right? And that little bow foot and coming out with his color up, you know. And he really was a tremendous batsman. Could have bowled about 2 different types of balls, and really great cricketer indeed. He will be greatly missed, but I mean, I know he dropped short just about 11 runs in getting to 90, but I want to say thanks to Garfield Sobers for the remarkable individual he was. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very much, Mr. Bailey, for that tribute there. Yeah, I think he will be buried sometime next week.
I mean, just before we go to the, I know we go to the 7 o'clock news, and of course the morning poll is up. Should Independence Day be cancelled in light of the non-stop murders and death threats? That's the poll this morning. Voting yes, you say vote 1. You just type 1 into the stream and vote 2. If you're voting no, you just type 2 in the stream. So should Independence Day be cancelled in light of the non-stop murders and death threats? A little controversial kind of poll there. I just want to also reference that the IACHR, which of course is the human rights for the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, has expressed concern with the use of states of emergency by several Caribbean states throughout the region as part of their crime-fighting tools, which I've repeated ad nauseum here on this show ever since it's being used. I have been very consistent in my opinion about this. Now, the IACHR is raising it with regard to Jamaica and regard to Trinidad and Tobago, and I think Belize, and their constant use of it, and saying that that constant infringement of the fundamental rights of its citizens is concerning. And of course, we are seeing how it's playing out now, and that the issue of detaining people without recourse to bail and without recourse to proving why you're detaining people and those sorts of issues. So it's a 2025 annual report, so it actually references from when the PNM would have done the state of emergency into the current state of emergency. The report kind of straddles those periods because they said it's pretty continuous. And so it's something to look at in the IACHR in terms of their reporting. And of course, I have always maintained on this show that states of emergencies are not crime-fighting tools. And the more that you use them, the more you empower the national security services. And it's almost like you're ceding power from the civilian government to the security services. And I have cautioned and said that that's not what the Constitution envisioned. But, you know, whatever, I kind of like a solitary voice in the wilderness.
Nobody's listening to you, Richard.
Well, no, people are listening to you, Richard. Trust me. I think people are listening. And eventually something has to give inside of this place. Sorry to say. But this issue of continue unabated death threat means to high government officials and to people. That has to be a concern for anybody, any right-thinking. So where do we go? If in the midst of a state of emergency, we still can't get it right. And we are putting people without charging them. You understand? And all these things happen. Where do we go? Where is it to be improved? When I'm there,
Well, we go to the news at 7 o'clock. So when we come back, people will tell you how you voted.
All right.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on NETT Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. A High Court judge has found that the Office of the Attorney General knew since 2016 that no separate specialty arrangement existed with the United States in the extradition case against former FIFA Vice President Jack Warner. Justice Karen Reed ruled that the office failed to correct the High Court and Court of Appeal, and later made positive representations to the Privy Council that such an arrangement existed. The judge described the conduct as a breach of the standards of candor expected from the Attorney General's office, saying what began as an understandable misunderstanding evolved into deliberate avoidance. The findings formed part of Justice Reed's decision to permanently halt Warner's extradition, award him damages, and order the state to pay his legal costs. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights has raised concerns over Trinidad and Tobago's prolonged use of states of emergency and their impact on civil liberties. In its 2025 annual report, the IACHR said the continued reliance on emergency powers in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and Belize could affect fundamental rights, including freedom of expression, association, and personal liberty. The Commission noted that Trinidad and Tobago had spent a cumulative 301 days under states of emergency since December 2024, with the current emergency extended until September 2026. The IACHR stressed that emergency measures must remain exceptional, limited in duration and scope, and comply with the principles of legality, necessity, proportionality, and temporality. It also called for judicial oversight, transparency, and due process protections for persons detained during security operations. The UWI Seismic Research Center has confirmed that 2 earthquakes shook Trinidad and Tobago before 7 a.m. on Monday. The first quake, measuring 5.1, struck at 5:45 a.m. at a depth of 59 kilometers. It was felt in Scarborough, Arima, and Port of Spain. The second quake, measuring 5.0, occurred at 6:55 a.m. at a depth of 80 kilometers. It was felt mainly in Trinidad, including Port of Spain, Arima, and San Fernando. UWI Seismic is encouraging members of the public to report their experiences through its earthquake feedback portal. Spain's World Cup victories sparked celebrations across Trinidad and Tobago yesterday, as fans gathered at Movietown Fiesta Plaza and venues in Tobago to watch the 2026 FIFA World Cup final. Supporters of Spain and Argentina packed the fan zones, creating an electric atmosphere with jerseys, flags, and chants throughout the match. When Spain secured a 1-0 victory over Argentina, Spanish fans erupted in celebration, waving flags and embracing one another, while Argentina supporters applauded their team's run to the final. In Tobago, Spain supporters at Barcode in Scarborough celebrated Ferran Torres' extra-time winner after Argentina were reduced to 10 men. Fans from both sides praised the friendly atmosphere, saying the World Cup once again showed football's ability to unite people across Trinidad and Tobago. In regional news, search and rescue efforts are continuing in Guyana after the ferry MV Barima capsized off the Essequibo coast late Saturday while traveling from Georgetown to Port Kaituma. Authorities say 67 people have been rescued, but at least 35 of them were not listed on the ferry's official manifest, raising concerns that the vessel may have been overloaded. Only 2 bodies have been recovered so far, and officials fear the actual number of passengers may have been far higher than the documented 116 passengers and 17 crew members. Prime Minister Mark Phillips has announced a full investigation into the disaster, including the accuracy of the manifest, cargo loading, safety compliance, and the conduct of the crew. The ferry captain and another crew member remain in police custody after testing positive for marijuana. Finally, Andy Burnham has officially become the United Kingdom's new Prime Minister after being invited by King Charles III to form a government at Buckingham Palace on Monday. Burnham succeeds Keir Starmer, who resigned as Labour leader and Prime Minister after facing pressure from within his party. The ceremonial transfer of power, known as kissing hands, marked Burnham's formal appointment as Prime Minister and First Lord of the Treasury. Burnham, the former mayor of Greater Manchester, became Labour leader on Friday after securing overwhelming support from Labour MPs. In his first remarks, he pledged to restore stability, improve living standards, and build a less toxic style of politics. The new Prime Minister is expected to announce changes to his cabinet in the coming days as he begins leading the Labour government. And that is news at this time. Stay with us. More great programming on the other side of the break.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the NETT Radio Breakfast Show. NETT Radio Breakfast Show. Fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Now that is an unstoppable combination, right? The best music and of course real talk is happening right here on the New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio. So let me welcome you inside, of course, the second hour of The Breakfast Show. The Breakfast Show Monday to Friday on NETT Radio. Wendell Stephen, Richard Ragubar saying yours truly, Sir Charles. We keep your company in fine style, yeah? And of course, we do so very happily, all right? Of course, coming up inside of Common Ground today, of course, that is your next engagement on the stream for all you folks on our YouTube and Facebook feeds. And of course, just to let you know that yes, our Facebook feed is back up and running. So, thank the Facebook team. And of course, your next engagement will be at 11 o'clock inside of the mid-morning segment for all the social media people. Denise Deming inside of Common Ground. Today she's talking with Vasan Barab. She's going to have a very important conversation there, so look out for that. Vasan Barab with Denise Deming at 11 o'clock. And of course, later on this evening, 6 o'clock, look out for Dr. David Mohammed, 6 to 8 p.m. with the Black Agenda. It's all here for you on the net. Good morning to the Gael Caribbean family, all the people streaming all around the globe. Thank you very much for being here. Remember, when we come off of Gael and come off of the social media feeds, you can find us at netradiott.com. That's netradiott.com. Remember, all our social media and of course streaming platforms are NETT Radio Trinidad. So whether you are you're looking for us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and even our WhatsApp channel is NETT Radio Trinidad. If you are on any of the streaming platforms, whether you're on TuneIn, Radio Garden, Simple Radio, Online Radio Box, MyTuner, you can get us at NETT Radio Trinidad. So our poll is up, people. Remember, we're asking you this morning, Independence Day celebration, should it be cancelled in light of all of the continuing murders and death threats that you're seeing and hearing about? Should the government just cancel independence this year again? What do you think? If you're voting yes, you're voting 1. If you say no, you're voting 2. When we come back, we'll tell you how you voted. And of course, don't forget to follow and of course support our Cooler Cruise that is coming up on the 15th of August. We're looking forward to having everybody on board.
All aboard! Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your cruise. Join us on NETT Radio. NETT Radio Halloween Cooler Cruise in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts, Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs, Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early bird tickets are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Kure, Pats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Cruise, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Call we on the scene.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James. For all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box. Drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
All right, so we are back inside the second hour. It's now 21 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock, and of course you are on to NETT Radio. So thanks for being here with us this morning. All right, so we are back on the inside. Wendell, you back?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm hearing you all very soft though.
You hearing me soft?
Yeah. I was hearing you good just now, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm back on my phone. But I was picking up the distortion even when I went off, and I was listening, watching at that guy. You heard me?
Yeah, and it's sounding, your phone is sounding better now. I don't know. What you did?
I ain't do nothing. That's what I'm saying. But I was picking up a distortion even when I came off just now.
Yeah, your phone sounds you're much clearer now.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So I don't know what Jambi you do, but
you all are very soft now.
To you?
Yeah. To me, yes, to me.
But that's
maybe try tuning up your volume.
Well, I did. It's all the way up. This phone I had an accident the other day. It fell about 20 feet out of my hand when the lizard jumped on me. Remember I tell you that?
Remember that? I remember that feeling that you get. You felt like Mighty Sparrow. The run up your leg.
Well, boy, let me move. I think I'm going outside, and I think let me move from where I am.
But your sounding good there. You should stay there.
No, but I'm not hearing you all properly.
All right, okay.
I was outside, so the outside noises were affecting my hearing. So
are you hearing clearer now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you all a little better because there's no external noises.
Okay.
But lots of votes on that poll. Wait, lots of votes.
Right, and just in case you didn't know, you're now joining us, our morning poll this morning: should Independence Day be cancelled in light of the non-stop murders and death threats? That's the poll this morning. What do you think? Vote 1 for yes, and by voting 1, we mean just type in 1 if you're in the stream, and that's it. It will be automatically tabulated, and that means yes, you think it should be cancelled. And of course, you vote 2 if you think no, it should not be cancelled. Absolutely not. You just type 2 by itself, number 2, and that's it. It will be automatically tabulated by the platform. So 1 or 2. 1 says yes, you think it should be cancelled. 2, no. We'll of course tabulate and give you the final results. Well, the system will give you the final results in a couple of minutes when we decide to look at it. But that's our poll for this morning.
Yeah. So but as I said, lots of votes on the poll today.
Yeah, we can. If you have a comment on the poll, you can call us at 281-1315 or 299-5156, and you could comment on the poll. What you think? Do you think it should be cancelled in light of all that is happening? And yeah, what are your thoughts?
So you can call 281-1315, 281-1315.
I don't think I saw any vote saying 1, but there are lots of votes saying 2. And of course, people are offering opinions, as to why it shouldn't be, because it's not going to stop the murders. It's not going to stop the death threats. But people want to celebrate. But, I have a conspiracy theory. I always have a conspiracy theory as to why it was cancelled last year and why there's some people in this government running scared. Because as I told you all, check the history. Check the history of leaders when they are assassinated, or issues surrounding death threats to leaders, or attempts on the lives of leaders. It's always coming from people that are close, that have access to them. Who has access to these people? Who has the most access to these people?
What are you talking about? That is a fantastical conspiracy theory that you shouldn't even articulate. I don't know where
but it's real, Richard. It happened. It happened
what rabbit hole going down? That's not even a rabbit hole anymore. That's an agouti hole.
Was that the case with John F. Kennedy and them?
And Indira Gandhi, Anwar Sadat, you name it, there have been countless. It has happened. We can't deny that. That's part of the history of the world, not so?
In reference to Independence Day celebrations.
Okay.
Stick up in there, guys. Call out good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Happy
Morning, Captain Ron.
Listen, Wendell, sometimes, boy, I tell you, some of the things say always come to pass. I cannot believe what I heard this morning. You'll correct me if I'm wrong. I heard some police saying that officers claiming that murders are down. They have made a dent in crime.
They slash it, Captain Ron. That's the word Richard called. They slash murders.
Slash crime. Murders are down by 7.
They need to cancel the police commissioner, and they need to cancel all of them who's thinking like that. All the officers. And especially on the heels of coming up a weekend where so many people got killed. And I watched that thing on Ian Allen yesterday, and he was showing you how one of the victims got killed. This guy just went to get gas. And these people are coming and shooting aimlessly at anybody, anything that moves. And they're going to make that statement right now. Come on, man, they need to cancel the police. You should have to call on that. Cancel the commission.
All right, thanks, Captain Ron.
Captain Ron said cancel the police, says.
They cancel the commissioner. We haven't heard from the commissioner for a while, ain't?
No.
He must be on holidays.
Well, maybe he and Gary must sign a peace treaty or something.
Yeah, Gary and all quiet these days. Well, since our curtail England get there, he gone quiet too.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Ms. Zina.
Good morning to all those locked on. And I'm glad he gone quiet. Oh, God. My God. Richard, I want to know, I said hell no. I voted too. So what are the death threats, further death threats people getting I out of the loop? Because I don't know if it are continued death threats. Why the thing should be cancelled? All other things going on here, especially with the UNC, all the celebrations happening. So why the thing would come? What difference would it make? The Independence Parade and so wouldn't cause nothing further, I don't think. Anyhow, before I leave, just let me say good morning to a friend who made out my voice on a beach in Tobago. Carol, good morning. That's a Carol. She said she doesn't text, she don't blog, she don't call. But she listens to this. She said she followed you all from Power 102.
Carol who?
She remembered a Carol. She said
I feel it's Carol Alexander.
Hello?
It might be Carol. Is Carol Alexander? That's her name? Nadia, what's Carol name again?
Anyhow, she said, but you are Zina. She said, I listening, I hearing your voice talking to your family. And I said, but I know that voice. She said, where I know that voice? Why I know that voice? And then she said, hi, you Zena? She said, yeah, you call a morning program? I said, which one? She said, with Richard and Wendell and Sir Charles. I said, that's right. I said, oh, she said, she make all the voice. She don't call and she doesn't blog. She's just a silent listener. So Carol from the beach in Tobago, good morning.
You were very loud on pitch and point, so everybody was hearing you. That's how you figure out your voice.
Yeah.
Making backhand on pitch and point, and somebody say, wait, that voice sounded very combative. That sounded like Zena. That's what happened, and then. She was making some bacchanal, and then she wasn't talking quietly in the corner, saying, like, oh, the waves are wonderful. No. She was saying, oh God, look at how much cute dumpling they give me here with this crab and dumpling. I don't understand it.
Some of the listeners over the years have had distinctive voices. Just like if you're running to Mr. Patrick anywhere or Mr. Porter-Spain, you can't help but notice them.
I wonder how Mr. Porter-Spain is going. I haven't seen or heard from him in a while.
Yeah, in a while. My mind is always on him every now and then.
Yes,
about a couple of weeks ago in Porter-Spain on Charlotte Street, But he's all right. He said he's just taking a little backseat. He find the politics get too combative and,
Yeah, I don't blame him.
It's something somebody wanted out your light. So he said, look, I just sit it back.
He's told that on for years, eh?
Yeah.
Well, the poll results are up, so you can see that 97% of the people voting this morning said no, they do not think that the Independence Day celebration should be cancelled, and 3% said yes. But 97% of you said no, you do not think that Independence Day celebration should be cancelled. There is no reason to do so. So the majority wins the vote this morning.
Where did that 3% come from?
And I
means nobody vote yes?
I don't understand the question. So the computer, the analysis by the platform is lying. Is that what you're saying?
Well, where did 3% come from? I want to know.
97% said no, they do not think it should be cancelled. 3% said yes.
Yeah.
So, Sean Cokerfield vote yes?
That's our poll results for this
Michael
morning.
Oliver vote yes?
And we will close off the poll this morning.
We name from far somewhere. He ain't vote. Where them votes come from?
I know them, It came. It's there.
I know them,
It's there. It's there. All right.
I believe that people cutting me and threatening me silently, I don't care.
All right, guys. So Peter will be doing the operations for you guys from here on in until after 8, right?
I thought Peter was there all the time.
you know, get in here.
Peter, wait.
So we continue.
Look, Sir Charles by the gate.
See you stop that. Caller, good morning.
We can continue to get calls. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to everybody there, Richard, Wendell, Sir Charles.
Morning, sir.
Yeah. Well, every day, I go into more hope and despair. And just like what Wendell saying, this situation seems to be hopeless. Because the people put in charge of stuff continue their approach, it's really hopeless. I was going through YouTube yesterday, and I heard the Minister of Homeland Security addressing this thing with the PEO. I don't know if he was referring to the Hadid matter or whatever, right? But he was addressing the PDOs. And here is his statement.
Your mid-morning just got...
He said we move now to the point where we are addressing the PDOs, and he said there are 460 something people who have PDOs, right? And he said they're moving to the point now to stop the murders and things before they occur. Right? But I sense what he's talking about is probably the arrest of the Hadid, because they were the PDO was because there was plotting to kill somebody or whatever. So by arresting them and getting them PDO and holding them under the PDO, they're stopping a murder from occurring. But you say that in a general thing, because like he wasn't wanted to refer to them specifically. So you say they moved to the point now where the PDOs is trying to prevent the murders before they happen. Yet still every day we having every day we having 2-3 murders, double murders, triple murders. So it's the wrong people that have PDOs then. So
he, and by extension, caller, he also know who going and be murdered then. Is that what he's saying?
Well, this was saying, go back and listen to the clips. I said, what kind of thing is that the manager? We don't want the police of the United to decrease the murder. They're supposed to detect the murder when it happens. And if they hold the people, right? They want to unsolve murders like they ain't solving nothing where murder is concerned. And he justified anything by saying the detention order is a process to stop the murder from occurring. I don't know if you all come across that clip. Go back and listen to the nonsense he's talking about. Right?
But just go back and listen to him. You ain't had to use the word nonsense with him.
Yes. Okay. Right? So that is his point. So if the detention order is to prevent murders from happening because the intelligence and them telling them, okay, this person plotting and they get thing, so they hold them and lock them up to prevent the murders from happening. Yet still, every day we hear all these other murders. And the murders are happening, they can't themselves solve them.
Yep. Because
okay.
Yeah, thanks, caller. I don't understand. A young man going to meet a lady, he get killed. It's reputed that she connected with some gangster man or whatever, who in jail, and he dead. They find his body. Who's stopping that? How is that to be stopped? How is a PDO stopping that? Because the person who they are alleging might be involved in jail. The 2 people who they say the Hadids allegedly conspired with, they're outside. Trinidad is a joke. I'm telling all you, the TTPS, I've been saying this for a long time, hopeless. I said that. And they're not going to change in our lifetime. Right? Because the good officers refuse to do anything about the bad officers. So we're in a hopeless situation with the TTPS. Trinidad and Tobago, we are being run, this place is being run on spite, on vindictiveness, and on revenge. How are we fixing that? How and when are we fixing that? You tell me that. Do you see any hope for us? You might want to wait for an election and change. And what we changing to? We will still have the same people in the politics.
Isn't that I saw something, Wendell, that I don't know if it's real or not, that the PNM has something on Thursday.
A meeting at Barry's house. We'll talk when we speak with Chairman Gonzalez tomorrow, we will also ask him about that. There's a public meeting, they're holding the public meeting at the Balize house itself.
Right.
Yeah. So we will try to clear up a lot of that Balize house / whatever is swirling around the PNM tomorrow. You understand? With Chairman Gonzalez. Because the PNM needs to be a lot more forceful in terms of how they're representing the country and in terms of giving people hope. Because people feeling hopeless now. When they listen to the government, there's no hope. When they listen to the PNM, there's very little hope. You understand? Where do we go?
So you're saying that the PNM is not successfully creating an alternative view that is connecting to people that see them, okay, this is an alternative view to how the country should be run. They're not doing that clearly. Is that what you're saying?
No, Richard. They're not. They are not. Who are you hearing from in the PNM? I mean, Marvin is making an effort lately. You understand?
They do have a press conference every week, you know.
To tell us what, Richard? What we already know?
Well, I can't say that you're not hearing them. They do have a press conference every week. And some of what they say is carried, and they do tackle different points of discussion with regard to whether it's an energy issue, and a lot of times Stuart Young may take the lead on that. Or if it is a security issue, maybe Marvin Gonzalez might talk on it. So, you know, they do have people speaking on different issues. Do you think that they should be more, you know, forceful? I think what you're thinking is that they should be more forceful in their criticism of things like what is going on with the situations that social media is commenting on.
And not just their criticism, Richard, the activism. Nobody in taking the government to court or nothing. The UNC government had the PNM in court every week. Nobody in challenging any decision. We have so many attorneys sitting on the opposition bench. Nobody say, we going into a local election just now, Richard. And the place nasty. The city nasty. Everywhere. The whole country is bush and nobody's saying anything. Instead, we quarreling about release of funds and all kind of thing. But what we doing when we get the funds?
Well, isn't that, the fact that so much of the country has bush all over the place, and I agree with you that there's a lot of parts of the country, you're not seeing the bush being maintained when CPEP was around. To be fair to CPEP, because you did see them working a lot in terms of controlling that. You do see across the country, wherever you go, that there seems to be a neglect in that. But isn't that in itself a direct critique on the Minister of Local Government and how local government is being run?
It is, because I saw a story last night. Somebody sent me a story last night about the new program that is being run under the Ministry of Local Government, NPOPs they're calling it, right? Where the folks have worked 6 fortnights, but they've only been paid for 3, right? That itself is a problem. But of course, I think the minister responded to it that soon all that red tape and blah. But there are examples, and I would have told the minister that, and the people in the know that before. There were examples to follow. All you needed to do was follow that. So that people could be paid on time, because yes, is a lot less people now employed within this program. So it should be, you think it should be easier to manage, right? But they're not doing that. That's not happening. But the template is there. Just get it fixed. Put the right people in the right place and get it fixed. I am fed up of the excuses. I'm fed up. It's the same poor people who suffering at the end of the day. Fix it. We can't just be dismissing things. And as I said before, I would tell her, and I would have told her before, forget this thing about the PNM did this and the PNM that. That's not working. That's not working. You're just frustrating people more. Oh Lord, I'm tired, you know. I'm tired. I'm tired. I've spoken to everybody who I could speak to concerning that situation. Right? I pull out myself, well, naturally because of all the criticism to all kind of PNM people, all kind of people cussing me, all kind of UNC people was cussing me when I tried to help. You understand? When I did help. But not me. I don't want to part of it if it had to be run like the way it's running now. Not me.
Well, I mean, I suppose if it is that you're looking at it, is what are the results? Because you want government to be results oriented, and we have reached a point previously of a lot of that bush and stuff being under control. It took a while, but it got there. And so you know, wherever you travel on the highway, you would see it. Even if it started to get bushy, after a while you started to see people cutting it. And so there was obviously some level of efficiency in getting things done, at least with regard to that. But that's now on the wayside, and the current government doesn't seem to have an answer to it. And maybe they're just all the bush on the side of the road that communities across Trinidad and Tobago doesn't seem to be bothering them. I see people cutting at points, but they're very few and far in between now. And it's just in certain little areas I see them sometimes, trying to deal with whatever. And some of them even look private because it looks like private.
Well, yes, because, Richard, in some cases, HDC responsible for their spaces. The whole HDC is a mess now anyway. You understand? So a lot of the compounds, the HDC compounds and surrounding areas, places that HDC should maintain, are an absolute mess. Which is why you would have seen that protests coming out of HDC compounds. Mind you, in the UNC areas, they're managing to keep it down. They're managing to hush them out. Because you know what? They didn't want the government to look bad. No problem. You understand? PNM people ain't like that. When PNM in power and PNM people feel neglected, they just let their voice be heard. You understand? That story on NPOPs, I don't know what area was that, but I gathered it might have been a UNC area, who finally spoke up about the fact that they've not been paid. You understand? And they say it's administrative. But the template is there. A successful template is there. Use it. And stop having people suffering and waiting long for the little pay. You say now we're paying a lot more, yes, than CPEP was paying. No problem. Of course, they're employing a lot less. But is that working? I don't think it is. So it's better you pay a lower wage and employ more people. At least more people will be able to spend, and it will help these communities that depends on the people who are spending that money. Because the people who are making more money clearly not spending as much as the people who will be making less money, but more people. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that template too is not working. And anytime I get an opportunity, well, I would have told her already that it's eventually going to have a problem. And you're seeing it. You're employing less people for a higher wage. Is that working? No, it's not. No,
but we can still take some of your calls as we are towards 8 a.m. this morning. So the lines are still open, even though, of course, we are talking. 281-1315, 281-1315, and 299-5156. 299-5156, 281-1315. We're taking your calls this morning on the breakfast show, Lord have mercy. Hey. Muscle memory.
That's all right.
Peter, any calls coming in?
We do have one call on the line.
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning again. I want to put a suggestion to the minister. Or give the councils the money they need. You see what happened, Wendell, I understand, as I read about it, that the councils are not hiring the people. The ministry ministry, Miss Amin, her ministry is hiring the people for all the different councils. So you see, when they have to be paid, money has to be now allocated. Then you have to get released from the comptroller of accounts. Then all this chalala, when you get it money, go to the bank take time to post it and all that. So you see, if they were being paid directly from the councils, they would get the pay on time, but that is not happening. So you're
and Zina, that's why I said that the template is there, you know. The template is there with CPEP also too. How CPEP used to pay people. You used to ever hear people quarreling about when they get paid from CPEP that they ain't gonna pay.
So you're not allowing the council to hire people. So when you wanted to hire it from your ministry and then you want to pay them and the councils to pay them, then you have to send the money to the councils and all that. I know how the money business in public service works. it is a whole bundle of confusion there. So if she not going on what was there formerly, she would run into a mess. And it is very unfair that you have people in your area, take for example Arima or Tunapuda, and you, the man in charge, cannot hire them. She is the one hiring from her ministry in all areas and paying supervisors too. It's the same nonsense. It cannot work. And I want to clear up when I said a statement I made about being quiet. It's not Gary I meant. Actually, Gary is being very, making a lot of sense to all that he's saying. It's the other one, Wally not hearing. I would hope we hear less of him.
All right.
Man in charge. I want to hear Gary because Gary has a good, he would let us know exactly the foolishness that's taking place in the police service. All right. This is what is happening there. So they all have the story all messed up because they want to control it from the head. Thank you.
Yeah. And Magic, thanks for reminding me. Because this all the corporations have established workers, have workers on the establishment. Not so? They had that. Forget, because nobody lost their job in a corporation. Of the 14 municipal corporations, nobody lost their job. What are they doing? I'll go, let me do Port of Spain alone. I can't tell the last time outside of the garbage collectors, I see anybody walking the road from Port of Spain Corporation, chipping the grass in the drain or doing anything. I can't tell the last time I see that. Port of Spain Corporation used to have workers with whackers, whacking different places and whatnot. It's like everybody just say, rock back and say, let's let the place look nasty. You understand? It's like nobody working. All the borough corporations, are you seeing anybody outside of picking up garbage? Are you seeing anybody out there doing any work?
Well,
and they still have a job.
In a Rima, I see people. I don't know about
you see people? Okay.
In a Rima, I see people. So
it's no bush in a Rima going out the drains.
They just picked up. Well, we are such a developed city. It's not likely that you'll see much bush. But
well, it's smart to not develop. Well, it's a smart city.
What you will see is potholes. And every now and then I get confused because a pothole is patched. And the car gets confused too because cars are ready to veer to the right or veer to the left. And all of a sudden you can go straight and it's like, what happened? Oh, they patched it. And then, but that patching obviously is not happening on Tumbuna Road. Well, Tumbuna Road, with all due respect, needs to be milled straight down to whatever below looks like and redone completely. There's a project that you just need to do, as well as fixing the barrels that greet you as you enter Arima from the highway, the Church of Roosevelt into O'Mara Road, which we talked about.
By the green pond.
Yeah, by the green pond. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I hear some caller talk about they're going to do parallel thing, whatever. I don't care. They need to fix that now because it's a hazard coming into that O'Mara Road entrance. If you don't know it, it's a hazard.
Yep. I was following a vehicle coming in. The vehicle was coming across the highway and I am merging, right? So you have to be careful, right? Yep. So you have to allow the people that coming across the chance, right?
Yeah.
And as the man come in front of me, he literally mashed a brake switcher. Because you know what? He wanted to go into the gas station.
The gas station, yeah.
My
but
God.
It's an immediate left. Yeah. The other whole thing is it not only is it dangerous, and it's also an eyesore. It's not a pleasant entrance to such a major city center like Arima. It's not. It's ugly. And in Trinidad, let me tell you something about Trinidad in case all they didn't know, and to all the foreigners listening. If we don't raise it, that will stay so And 5 years from now, we're still talking about it, because they will say that good enough for them, and nobody object, and they will do nothing unless we raise it and keep pressing on that point, Just like how we had made noise about that place in Malabar that was incomplete and was vandalized. In Malabar there, but that settlement, and we make noise and we make noise and we make noise, and it got done.
Yes,
I always say they should name that after the two of us.
But I don't know when we gotta rename Tumpuna Road if we get done, because Tumpuna Road is the worst road in Trinidad and Tobago.
It's terrible.
Don't take our word for it. Drive from Tumpuna Road from the highway straight up to Arima, Central Arima, and you tell me what you think about that road.
Yep.
And then drive back down.
Horrendous. It's a perfect microcosmic example of the inefficiency of governance and road development in Trinidad and Tobago. That alone would be laughable if you were to put it on social media. And laughable, I say laughable, and that might be the right word, but it's embarrassing in the land, and because everybody likes to talk about the pitch lake and the pitch and our roads, can in certain areas be really ridiculous. That Tumpuna Road in such an important hub. And Tumpuna Road is a very busy road because there's so many settlements off Tumpuna Road and leading into the Churchill Roosevelt Highway and to cross into even more settlements like Greendale and Lauketa and the lake side or whatever it is they call it. So many settlements on that side. So that it's a huge thoroughfare. And authorities in the last government and in this government have left it to be what it is today. I can't even blame one government, both.
Yeah. And let me tell you something at the end of the day, right? When the government that represented their representatives are in charge of an area ain't do it, you really think the other government going to come and do it?
Yeah.
It ain't happening. Our politics not developed enough for that, Richard. That's why I tell you sometimes you feel hopeless. Because if a PNM area was neglected under the PNM,
because when their politicians are too inculcated in them when they sit in parliament, like I tell it about parliament jumbie, that is sit down on all of their shoulders, that is say that good enough for them. And so there's move into that good enough for them mode. Once I collected my 40,000 plus salary from a cabinet minister, or I collected the 25,000 plus salary, that good enough for them.
Yep. And the reality is that I in charge of this area, I neglect it. The other person come and take over, them neglecting it because that is not them area. But they also doing that to their areas too, So don't think it have UNC areas that not being also neglected, You know why? Course. Because when the switch come around, they're still voting for me.
Yeah.
This place is hopeless.
It can't be hopeless.
You making jokes, yes?
It can't be hopeless. People just need to do what they're supposed to do. And we shouldn't have to be, raising it on as two relatively young men raising it on national radio and television. Setting up our blood pressure.
Exactly.
Anyway, we taking calls. Why nobody calling? Peter, you ignoring calls or what?
Peter, wait. Peter looks so Charles by the gate.
Good morning.
Yeah, not living in a corner house, but still.
Who is that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
I on the hole here twice. Why all going on there? I know I live in a corner house. Oh gosh, I don't make it literal. Anyway, hey, listen. Quickly. August 31st, 2025, and August 31st coming up here, the safest place to ever be in Trinidad is the Queen's Park Savannah, right? I put no, not just no, hell no. I voted. And in closing off, Richard, as a fellow Thisbian, like the good selves, Wendell, go to the head of the class. You remember Julius Caesar, Shakespeare, he too brute, meaning you too Brutus. It always, the best way to get to do your thing, you had to be in the inside, or you have somebody in the inside. You understand? So, yeah, definitely. And Wendell gave great examples. We could even use not just Julius Caesar, but even Jesus. The kids, come to man. That's the real world. Anyway,
all right.
Let's have a good day. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. All that advice Scorpion and Dean Allen gave me. I'm sorry, all you're not going to change me. If all you want, all you put up all your stuff and I will read it. But don't tell me how to feel. Don't tell me how to say things or when to say things and so on, right? That is not going to happen. Right? I'm sorry. Good?
Any other calls, Peter?
We do have one more caller, yes.
Yeah, good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
There's something that one of the parties opposed. I don't remember what it was the politically correct name for it, but it was something that you can basically you could fire your MP if there's a general consensus that your MP not
recall.
When you can help me.
Recall.
Yes. And unless and until that takes effect, politicians will continue to do us what they want to do us. Right? Because you can be your government, your party is in charge. My area is considered to be a supporter of your party, and my area underdeveloped. Laventil, for all the years that Laventil has voted for PNM, should not be in the condition that it's in. Right? La Hocketa, Maloney should not be in the condition that it's in. Right? But unless we have recall, they will continue to whine and dine on me until we. As I always say, the problem is not the politicians, the problem is we. Because we don't demand better. When I see how Spain does operate and France does operate, when the people are serious about that protest, right? They had some competition the other day to something Oli was talking about last week, where there was taken petition and 16,000 out of 1.4 million people signed the petition. I'm like, really? How serious is it for you to take that?
Well, it's up to 20,000 now, but it's an ongoing petition, So it's over 20,000 now.
All right, and for the what was the petition was for?
That was the AI data centers.
The what?
AI data centers.
Right. And maybe the problem is a lot of people are not aware and not interested in that AI data center. But for those of us who are, it should have more than 20,000 people signing that. That is not. When you could do some quick Google searches. I did a quick Google search of the largest data center in the world. How much people does it employ? If anybody could Google that, I'm saying what I searched for. And the largest data center in the world employs 400 people. 400 people. Are we going to sacrifice all our water, all our electricity, all our land to say we employing 400 people? And we're not going to put the largest data center in the world. So we're doing that to maybe employ 200 or 100 people. Are we really going to? Is that sacrifice worth it? And anybody doing research, if Trinidad and Tobago, if we were serious, if we did any kind of research, we should have a lot more than 20,000 votes against that by noon. Which is why I said.
Let's go. I just looked up the petition. It's called Suspend AI Approval of All AI Data Centers in Trinidad and Tobago. And at this point, 22,364 people have signed it.
I am still not impressed with Richard. I'm still not impressed. We have 1.4 million people in the country. Right? But all I'm saying is, maybe people are not interested yet. Maybe, as you know, we have people who just support things based on the government that does it. And you would have all the UNC supporters supporting it, all the PNN. But this is something Trinidad and Tobago would pan off better if we take that amount of land, water, and maybe definitely less electricity, and we plant gardening on that land. Trinidad and Tobago would and we will be more self-sustained doing agriculture than a data center. It will certainly employ more people, and it would help the Trinidad citizens of Trinidad. It might send down the food prices, we don't know, but I think investing that in agriculture is more sustainable than a data center.
Well, there was some of the news coming out over the weekend, before we go to the 8 o'clock news, which we're already late for, was that there is a data center already being built. I don't know if you saw that, Wendell.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, that they were saying that there was a data center already being built but in a secret location. I don't know how come a location can be secret in Trinidad. Everybody always macroing everything else and everybody's business. But they're saying they say it's a secret location, and that was some of the reports, unconfirmed reports, you have to say, that the state is already building one, and it's close to completion or whatever, because I don't think it take that long to build, because it's basically like a warehouse.
Yeah, it's a warehouse, yeah.
You know, but I suppose you outfit it in a particular way, but anyway, so that's food for thought, whether those are unconfirmed rumors that came across social media over the weekend. But anyway, we are late for 8 o'clock news, so 8 o'clock news is next.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. A High Court judge has found that the Office of the Attorney General knew since 2016 that no separate specialty arrangement existed with the United States in the extradition case against former FIFA Vice President Jack Warner. Justice Karen Reed ruled that the office failed to correct the High Court and Court of Appeal, and later made positive representations to the Privy Council that such an arrangement existed. The judge described the conduct as a breach of the standards of candor expected from the Attorney General's office, saying what began as an understandable misunderstanding evolved into deliberate avoidance. The findings formed part of Justice Reed's decision to permanently halt Warner's extradition, award him damages, and order the state to pay his legal costs. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights has raised concerns over Trinidad and Tobago's prolonged use of states of emergency and their impact on civil liberties. In its 2025 annual report, the IACHR said the continued reliance on emergency powers in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and Belize could affect fundamental rights, including freedom of expression, association, and personal liberty. The Commission noted that Trinidad and Tobago had spent a cumulative 301 days under states of emergency since December 2024, with the current emergency extended until September 2026. The IACHR stressed that emergency measures must remain exceptional, limited in duration and scope, and comply with the principles of legality, necessity, proportionality, and temporality. It also called for judicial oversight, transparency, and due process protections for persons detained during security operations. The UWI Seismic Research Center has confirmed that 2 earthquakes shook Trinidad and Tobago before 7 a.m. on Monday. The first quake, measuring 5.1, struck at 5:45 a.m. at a depth of 59 kilometers. It was felt in Scarborough, Arima, and Port of Spain. The second quake, measuring 5.0, occurred at 6:55 a.m. at a depth of 80 kilometers. It was felt mainly in Trinidad, including Port of Spain, Arima, and San Fernando. UWI Seismic is encouraging members of the public to report their experiences through its earthquake feedback portal. Spain's World Cup victory sparked celebrations across Trinidad and Tobago yesterday, as fans gathered at Movietown Fiesta Plaza and venues in Tobago to watch the 2026 FIFA World Cup final. Supporters of Spain and Argentina packed the fan zones, creating an electric atmosphere with jerseys, flags, and chants throughout the match. When Spain secured a 1-0 victory over Argentina, Spanish fans erupted in celebration, waving flags and embracing one another, while Argentina supporters applauded their team's run to the final. In Tobago, Spain supporters at Barcode in Scarborough celebrated Ferran Torres' extra-time winner after Argentina were reduced to 10 men. Fans from both sides praised the friendly atmosphere, saying the World Cup once again showed football's ability to unite people across Trinidad and Tobago. In regional news, search and rescue efforts are continuing in Guyana after the ferry MV Barima capsized off the Essequibo coast late Saturday while traveling from Georgetown to Port Kaituma. Authorities say 67 people have been rescued, but at least 35 of them were not listed on the ferry's official manifest, raising concerns that the vessel may have been overloaded. Only 2 bodies have been recovered so far, and officials fear the actual number of passengers may have been far higher than the documented 116 passengers and 17 crew members. Prime Minister Mark Phillips has announced a full investigation into the disaster, including the accuracy of the manifest, cargo loading, safety compliance, and the conduct of the crew. The ferry captain and another crew member remain in police custody after testing positive for marijuana. Finally, Andy Burnham has officially become the United Kingdom's new Prime Minister after being invited by King Charles III to form a government at Buckingham Palace on Monday. Burnham succeeds Keir Starmer, who resigned as Labour leader and Prime Minister after facing pressure from within his party. The ceremonial transfer of power, known as Kissing Hands, marked Burnham's formal appointment as Prime Minister and First Lord of the Treasury. Burnham, the former mayor of Greater Manchester, became Labour leader on Friday after securing overwhelming support from Labour MPs. In his first remarks, he pledged to restore stability, improve living standards, and build a less toxic style of politics. The new Prime Minister is expected to announce changes to his cabinet in the coming days as he begins leading the Labour government. And that is news at this time. Stay with us. More great programming on the other side of the break.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Calling all you NETT Radio listeners and fans. It's time to pack your cooler, gather your crews. Join us on NETT Radio. NETT Radio Halloween Cooler Crew in red, white, and black. On board the luxurious Island Royalty, Saturday, 15th of August, boarding at 7 p.m. from Hardcuts Shagaramas. We sail at 8 p.m. sharp. Enjoy great music all night long from your favorite NETT DJs: Sir Charles, CJ, Mr. Flavor, Doc International, RJ, and Fluffman.
Tell you you's a big dancer. Come show
Early
them who's
bird
a big
tickets
dancer.
are just $200 after $250. Get your tickets now at Crosby in St. James, Rumba, St. James, Bobby's Bar in Crep, Fats International in Arima, K Square Fashions at C3 Center, West Mall, and Eastgate Small, and all NETT DJs. No glass bottles allowed. Bring your coolers, bring your crews, and let's celebrate together. NETT Radio, NETT Radio, Halloween Cooler Crew, Saturday, August the 15th, aboard the Island Royalty. For information, call 638-2609 or 497-7173. Call we on the scene.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
What do we all want for Trinidad and Tobago? Safer communities, greater opportunities, and a better future. Join Denise Deming every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio for Common Ground TNT. Each week, respected guests tackle the issues affecting our nation, from crime and education to healthcare, the economy, and good governance. Common Ground TNT, finding solutions through conversation. Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on NETT Radio, NETT Radio.
End times is here. Are you prepared? Check us on New Era TT Radio or NETT Radio with Brother Raka and Brother Yatazakawa on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. End times is here. Stay tuned.
And we are back on this wonderful Tuesday morning. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful day so far. This morning we certainly had a very entertaining show, I would say. That's my opinion. Wendell and Richard don't seem to be back as yet. But I have no idea where they have gone. I know a lot of people aren't used to like hearing my voice. I'm still kind of new on the scene. So I hope that everything is good and good.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, we would have gotten our poll results, and of course, we are back in the final period of the breakfast show this morning. So of course, we can still take some calls, because I mean, the conversation about what's going on in the country, we can continue to discuss it. And so we can open up our
I
lines
know you
and
come
take
back
some-
in already.
I mean, yeah, no, we come back in already. But where you was?
Outside, I didn't realize I was given time to a little extra time, but you're rushing it this morning, but you and Peter. Well, you don't want to wait. Richard, wait.
Time keeps moving.
I want to tell people, right? For those who sometimes don't like my style on a morning, I should say, sometimes. I don't have all the answers for this place. It's obvious, right? No one has all the answers, right?
I do.
You may, but I don't have all the answers. But if you have an answer, you can put it in the chat, and I will gladly read it. But following up the chat with telling me not to say this and how to say this and when to say this, that ain't making sense to me. Put your idea forward if you have an idea, and I will gladly read it. But you're not going to get me to change the way how I see things, right? I do not have all the answers. I welcome if you all have answers. Put it in the chat. I will gladly read it. Instead of spending all morning telling me what to do and criticizing this and criticizing that, put some answers in the chat, and I'll gladly read it, right? And that's all. That's all I'll say on that, right? I'll do it. I'll read it.
Okay, so are you going to read some stuff now?
Well, Dean Allen is saying there's a difference between a data center and an AI data center. And an AI center. There's a difference between a data center and an AI center, right? He was addressing that to you. Let me see who else.
They didn't say AI center, they said AI data center.
Right, but he's saying AI center. I'm reading
But
exactly what he said. There's a difference between a data center and an AI center. Robert Allen is asking a question that I am in agreement with. And he is asking the caller, who was Lincoln.
Yeah, but we never said AI center, we said AI data center.
Yeah, we did.
So I'm
I
not so
just
sure what
reading.
his objection is.
All right, I don't know either. I'm reading Robert Allen's comment now, and he's asking the caller, who I think was Lincoln, what percentage of the 1.4 million in our population would satisfy you in terms of signing a petition? Because you're saying you're not satisfied with 20,000 out of the 1.4 million people. So he's asking what percentage would satisfy you? That's a valid question.
Yeah. Because you ain't getting 1.4 million people to sign nothing.
Yeah.
So is it 30,000? Is it 80,000? Is it 100,000?
Right.
You know, what is it?
Yes. Scorpion Pepper is also saying one needs to consider that there is a group of people who do not feel hopeless. I understand that. To the contrary, the government is the best thing that could have happened to this country and some people. That's exactly correct. But I given you my view, right? Another one. Old lady said, Philip, what is from the PNM? Yeah, he used to be. For the, what he doing for the youths? Posing in jacket and tie every day.
Before you continue, Wendell,
sure.
We do have a call on your line.
All right, well, let's take the call. We will give way to the calls.
Caller, good morning.
Yes, sir. Morning, Mr. Wendell Stevens.
Morning.
Hey,
Mr. Patrick, are you?
That is me.
How you doing, my brother?
Call him a name, boy. I don't call him a name, so I don't come out. I don't talk about Mr. Porter and say that Patrick shall come out.
All right. Good to hear you do.
Wendell, let not your heart be troubled, boy. Understand? Wendell, you go talk until the chicken come home to roost, boy. That is system we live in, boy. But they realize that everybody on Sesame Street right now. Nobody had time with nobody. Everybody looking to. There's a bacchanal going on. Now the law association telling the lawyers to tell the people, look what I is this, and now I'm talking about this. When yesterday I was driving to Trinity, I was telling a part of my Trinity full of boys. All about. I went in Port Harcourt yesterday to go wrong sentence, and Port Harcourt all the avenue looking like a ghost town, boy. My children looking black. They were all dark. You understand? So you put a road and you say, it's serious when you swing down to go wrong Santa Rosa on the highway. It's rough. Hello, another thing, hello. Right now, school about the Oakman thing. There must women and people here talking about they have money to buy no books and things, right?
School and now going on open. School just went on vacation. School now closed.
You know people that
you just say school going on open just now. In September, you have a whole month.
Shallow, hey, September Friday. You saw the time Friday.
Yeah, 2028 Friday too.
World Cup Friday too. The people crying out, boys. No money to buy no books. Go to the grocery and then I see the price of all them thing on up. You understand what's going on? We are a Sesame Street run by. Everybody looking for Sesame Street. Is that not Sesame Street? So, when I hear you. But who gonna fix that, boy?
I don't know, no, Mr. Patrick. I wish I knew.
Who gonna guard the guard?
I wish I knew. I am trying to protect and provide for a very small circle. I am shrinking my circle to make sure that they are provided for. That's what I have no choice.
The way the thing going, like it could be one man and one man alone, but you alone, by. That's how the thing goes right now. Everybody's seen for themselves. Right? And the government, like they make care about nothing, by. They don't lock up people, but they all they doing. If you come out and talk, they're going to lock you up. Yes, that. Don't say that. How did they say? Not that dumb dog back. Take licks and hush them out. slavery. That's what we call slavery. Developing dictatorship slavery. Read about that.
Yeah.
Boy, where you do, boy? You have to look up to the Almighty, boy.
But I don't think God wants anything to do with this place now, no?
No. God wants to do with you. You understand? Everybody got to see for themselves. That's what we're going to tell you. The government will go and the government will come. And it will continue until. Look, I see they're going behind the Red House now.
Well, okay. You know what? Essentially, we are an ungrateful bunch of people. Because when we have it nice, we just abuse people, we use people, we insult them, we degrade them, we do them all manner of things. And then when they withhold, then you realize how grateful you were, how thankful you should have been.
You know, God was so good to the human race. And one day God gets up and says, hey, you repented, you make man, and said, oh, wipe them out the face of the earth. You know that, right? When I really do things for people, boy, and I end up getting a kick. You understand what's going on? Sometimes your own children, your own family, your own wife. What are you going to do? Yes, I take time and enjoy your life, boy. Too short when the life is short, to be fighting a battle for everybody. You can't do that.
Yep.
Did that and they crucify you. So take your time and live.
Yeah, but he rose again. He rose again, Mr. Patrick. He rose again.
Well, I tell you when they're going and raise again.
Me? I give up. I give up because we do this, Richard and I, as a labor of love, you know. We do this to provide you all with the opportunity to hear what's happening and to say what's happening, you know. That's why we do this, you know. Sir Charles created this forum so that we could just continue to talk to people and listen to people, you know. This has absolutely zero profit for us. Yeah, zero. You understand? But we do it to provide you all with the opportunity. But I'm telling you from my perspective, the day that I don't enjoy it, and that has been happening lately. I took a week off the other day. I didn't have to, you know. But I just needed not to deal with radio because of not just the stresses in the country, you know, but the stresses in my own personal space. You understand? I just needed to do nothing. And I went I passed through 4 different countries in Europe. And I did nothing. Just see the place, relax, lie hang with my son, my nephew, and my partner, and we did nothing. But enjoy that period. That's all. And that's what I want to continue doing. So there will come a day, I'm telling you, where they will not have the privilege of seeing me or hearing me. Or they will be able to talk. I don't know who, somebody else, not me. I wouldn't even log on to read a paper after that.
We do have another caller on the line.
Yeah, hello?
Caller, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
You know, I want to make a comment on what I consider to be a breakdown in the management of, let me call it public cleansing, because I hear a lot of people complaining about overgrowths and garbage here, this, there, and that there. And as someone who used to be involved in that kind of activity, I see a total breakdown in the whole administrative arrangements. I'll give you an example now. One of the things I used to do, because I would take up work generally on an 8 to 4, but a lot of the people who do public cleansing work, the actual workers, they work sometime from 6 in the morning or even earlier, depending on the arrangement that you might authorize, so that I would drive on my way to the office and take different routes where in whichever jurisdiction I work, and just observe and look at what was on the ground, how the workers might have been operating, whether they were there, whether they were not there, and all these sorts of things. And then when you have occasional meetings with those people, the supervisors, there was an opportunity to alter what was happening. I'll give you an example, for instance. Where I live here, there's very little need for a gang, a public cleansing gang, to pass through the neighborhood. But I'm not saying they shouldn't, but recently, within the last year or so, I observe a consistent visit by a public cleansing gang, which might come maybe around 7 o'clock. And by 8, they're gone. And one of the things I observe is that they do work that has already been done. For instance, the person living opposite me was a former UNC government minister. He's now deceased. And they have people who they pay to actually take care of their furge and all the plants in front and what have you, that the public cleansing workers would have access to. There's even a sign advertising the company that maintains the property. And yet still I would see them come in there. And apparently they want to cut the grass down to the ground, which to me is a waste of time. I'm a fairly active person living opposite, and I do the same. I don't have a company doing it for me. But I do the same. I maintain my place. And I have had reason to go out and tell them, hey, don't bother to do this here now. Look good down the road there. There's a vacant lot and there's a drain in front that might need some work. There's no guidance at all. That whole operation in my area has broken down. Earlier in the week, I think it was yesterday, my wife and myself occasionally will go for a walk. So we go on for a walk, and her comment was, these people are in so early in the morning. And my answer was, I think those are the people who would bring the birds to hang them out and listen to them whistle. But by the time you make the wrong and you come around, you realize, but wait, the 5 or 6 cars parked there with the 15 to 20 people hanging out are basically quarreling, because they're quarreling about the fact that they didn't get the money, and the woman says she'll come with the check. And now from looking at them and their attire, they appear to be public cleansing workers, but not corporation workers. And I say that to make the point that on the same area that I go, I have seen workers come with vests, new weed whacker, some words on the back end, some kind of thing. My assessment is that those are replacement workers for what was CPEP. And they would come. And if I start at 5 in the morning walking on occasions when I want to make a very long walk, maybe a half marathon, and I would see them sit there until 6:30 before they start. And by 8 o'clock, they go on, and the little they have done is very questionable. And then the following day, we see corporation workers come in the orange suits and do the same thing. So there's no sort of management arrangement. Apparently there's problem in paying them on time, and it's a whole disorganized thing. And if you go in the town, you would see 4 or 5 people together with a few garbage bags doing what? It's a whole set of taxpayers' money being wasted, and the job is not being done. There needs to be proper coordination. So if you have CPEP in the area, there's a CPEP office. They could give them certain areas and say, look, you maintain these. You will tell your corporation workers, pass it down to the supervisors, don't go in these areas because CPEP is already there. Let these people go there, and the whole sorts of thing. If you look and you see garbage not being collected, you need to be able to say to the supervisors down below, hey, you all are not monitoring the garbage collection, because garbage collection is something with contractors that you're supposed to pay them based on the work they do. It's not just a contract that they're getting paid. So if you drive through the town and you see garbage is still on the street and vouchers come to your desk for you to authorize, a question should arise. How come they're getting paid 100% and they're not picking up the garbage 100%? So I don't know where this whole management process is. And when I look at it, I say, oh, wait now. It can't be with the heads of departments only. Maybe they're frustrated because the kind of decline that I see in the whole process, it has to be put at the feet of politicians. Because remember, the same way you as a head of department could drive around and look, the councils live in the area, they could see what's happening and they're supposed to be aware of the processes so that they could even hold the head of department accountable. So
Caller.
And
Mr. Princess Town.
That is not the only area here.
Yeah, you're actually answering your own questions, you know, simply because they said that they cutting out the middleman, the contractors, because of corruption and because of financing gangs, all manner of things they said about CPEP. That why they decided they're going to do their own recruitment of people. But when you recruit people at a higher wage, no problem. Everybody wants a higher wage. You're recruiting a lot less people at a higher wage, but you're not paying them. What do you think is going to happen? With poor supervision, what do you think is going to happen? There's no contractor now to be held accountable. There's a supervisor who's saying, well, we ain't getting paid for all this time. Only take it easy. That is what is going on, you know.
But I understand that, you know, on the other hand, as you say, schools are about to reopen. I hope that they're demanding that the schools be inspected also, so that problems within the schools could be identified and could be referred to the ministry for them to try to take some corrective action. Whether it's the bathroom facilities, whether it's the leaking roof, whatever it is. But these are processes that are supposed to be ongoing in all aspects of public health. And I am not convinced that there's anybody or any process in place to ensure that these things go on to mitigate the kind of problems that you would have. I would be uncomfortable if we had something like what we had in COVID, and see how they would be able to manage it, because there's clearly a whole breakdown in the whole public health process.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
Yeah. The problem in Trinidad and Tobago is lack of supervision. Government come, government go. It is lack of supervision. If you don't have honest people who are dedicated in place to manage and supervise workers, they are not going to work. And especially if they are not being paid on time, they are not going to work. And you as a human being will say, oh gosh, it's hard, but you 6 weeks now, you're going without a cent. Or they take it easy. That is what is going on in the place, you know. And it need not be like that. Unless we really have a money problem and we just don't have the money. So if we don't have the money, then I don't know what else we'll do, you know. But this place will burst. It will explode one day. No. We have a call, Peter?
Yeah, we have another caller.
Yeah, take that call. Take that call. Easy map. I don't want to end up like a certain person on live TV. You know? Lord. Hello?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, gentlemen. Which was usual? Just following up on
you're talking soft, caller.
Yeah, hold on.
We are hearing you.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, gentlemen. Sorry about that. I was saying now, following up on what Mr. Princess would have highlighted, and even what you would have said, Mr. Stevens. The problem is, and that's what we have, right? Continuity, and we always talk about that. So and that is plagued us from time immemorial. Okay, so a program was, you say it was corrupt and whatever, you had to do investigation, okay. Just take out what was working, particularly when it comes to repping pay sheets and so on and preparing them, right? And keep that in place and you go ahead with your investigation into the alleged corruption and the two things could take place at the same time.
Yes.
That's so difficult. And then in addition to this, wasn't there in the budget, as we saw in the Standing Finance Committee, that there was still a CPEP company in place?
Yes, there still is.
So all you do is go there and say, listen, forget, and you are so correct about going back to what was and the PNM, and just go there and
we lost him? Did we lose him? Peter?
I don't know.
I think we lost him. Yeah, as I said earlier on, the template is there, you know. It is there. While CPEP may have had issues at the beginning, after hours, everything ran smooth in terms of the timesheets, in terms of the payment, how people were being paid straight into their bank accounts. Nobody used to collect cash or check in CPEP, you know. It was always through a bank account, you know. It was always after you paid NIS and whatnot, you know. The structure is there. Just use it. And as Anson correctly said, you have an investigation to do it. But that shouldn't stop you from using that successful template to move forward. You understand?
Yeah.
I will give CPEP that Wendell, because I know initially when CPEP started, it was made a lot of fun of. Yeah.
And people would say painting stone, they're doing this, they're doing that. And there was a lot of negative feedback initially from the population. But eventually, CPEP grew into being a substantive part of how Trinidad and Tobago looked. And in terms of maintenance, and people started to accept that's what they were doing, and they were doing it at a relatively competent place, because you had these crews across the country, and so you felt that there was much more control. Now, of course, the current government said whatever they said, and they just disbanded with the whole thing, which was, to me, which I think a lot of people would have weighed in on, was a bad idea. You should have allowed it to continue and fix whatever you needed to fix while dealing with those issues. But of course, they have a mandate and they felt that they should do whatever they want to do. But it has not solved the problem, and now it has actually made the problem worse. They may simply say it's a transition period, but we're not seeing, the results, and a lot of people are a little bit, despondent about how the country looks in terms of Bush and the maintenance of the country and stuff like that. So it's something that they will have to address, and the Ministry of Local Government has to take the brunt of that criticism.
Yeah, well, I hope one day I could get through and make sense. You know what I mean? I don't need to do it, but at least listen to me and hear what I have to say, even in the corporations. You understand? There must be a way of motivating people to work. And you know what, Richard, what saddens me most? The people who are making the decisions, the politicians, and the people who are paid to carry out the decisions, the public servants, they're guaranteed are getting the money at the end of the month, Who's suffering? The people who are to actually do the work. Is that right? Is that fair? I'm telling you, every day I feel more and more burdened by what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Easy problems that can be fixed, Richard. Easy problems that can be attended to. The staff is there. The people are there. You just have to motivate them, go out there and supervise them and ensure that the work is done. That is all it requires. Why should a politician or thing have to tell you about grass growing in front of your place? Yeah? Why should you wait for a worker to come and clean the grass right in front of your wall? The grass growing out from the crack of your wall, because you ain't pop your wall properly. But a worker had to come and clean that. Some corporation or NPOP worker had to come and clean that. And it's you pop your wall that had a space that caused the grass to be growing out there. That's where we reach in this place, you know. We hopeless.
But we have to take. Well, I mean, there are people who take responsibility for right in front of them, and there are some that don't. So it's how do you cultivate that? Look, in front of you, you need to take care of it. Now, I mean, I don't know if it's the majority that take care in front of where their houses are, or it's the minority. I can't say. I don't know.
I cannot say that.
But I know a lot of people do take, do care about how the front of the house looks and what's in the drain and are things growing up there. You'll see people coming out and cleaning it and sometimes washing down and power washing in front of their pavements and stuff like that. So there are people who do care. And then there's some that are lackadaisical. They're like, whatever, in front there. It has to be the borough council, the city council.
Well, in some communities, like where I am, we actually pay a monthly thing for people to do that. But I don't always wait. You understand? And even if when the guy come around and do it, I'll give him something extra. You understand? Because it can't be easy to go down in a drain and clean. You know what I mean? It's not that easy. It's not a nice thing to be doing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I want to go Europe and live or somewhere. I want to go somewhere. I don't know where yet. I just want to spend more time away from Trinidad than I'm spending in Trinidad now. That is my intention. One of my hopes get dashed recently, so I had to find other hopes.
Okay, we do apologize for the technical difficulties just now. Unfortunately, we didn't lose the caller, but we do have another caller on the line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
As far as I remember, they came into office. Somebody had a bone to pick, did what they had to do, and state in Parliament, crow, take that. Go and crow. There wasn't any plan to remove CPEP. It was a bone to pick. So that is why they don't know what to do now. Because it was a vengeance move. I remember he stood up in Parliament, Mr. Paragat, crow, go and crow after they did what they did. Have a good day.
Yeah. All right. I have no doubt that a lot of what is happening is true political spite. I have no doubt about that. You understand? Just by the words and by the actions, it's that. But what are we as a people doing about it? I don't know. As I say, we provide the medium here. We talk. We give ideas. We express opinions. We invite you all to talk. We invite you all to express opinions. I don't know what else I could do from my space. As I say, my circle is small, who have not made a commitment, but I try to take care of. It's pretty small, and it's getting smaller every day. I'm sure it will be me alone until I lie down and people start to say all kind of nice things about me. Maybe if they talk the truth, they wouldn't say only nice things. I wish they could just come and sing some nice tunes. A little Juan Luis Guerra and a little what's the guy name? Andrea Bocelli and things like that. Just play music.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, morning.
Wendell, I hear you so speak. Long good as a good Latin man.
We barely hear you.
Yeah, you need to talk louder.
Yeah, me better now?
Yeah, speak up.
I was just saying, when he's an old school jazz man. That's a good one. But what I'm saying is, in the light of lack of resources, I think the investment is in how we get people to work and how we create the management system to develop that line of work. We're not investing in those things. That's a management system situation. And then you have to invest in the. You hear me? You hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we listening.
So the property tax, as bad as it was, people talk about it and we can critique it. That would have raised some funds to go anything. We have to recognize the country broke in a certain way. People didn't realize past 10 years, people was struggling and jingling the money. We saw the conversations going on with the IMF and everything. As I have these conversations with Sir Charles, I say the writing was always on the wall that anybody coming into this term would have really have to face when your pinches and the pennies rubbing together, you have to utilize your people and you have to invest in your people. That is your social work. As you think, what has been invested in so far is police. We see the Minister of Security now coming and talking about domestic situations. The criminologist was telling us that from a long time. It's a 40-60. 60 is interfamiliar violence, 40% is gang warfare. So even if you change it, it will still be high. So where's the investment in the social development of the people, the community spaces, how we have to rectify people to understand how to take care of their spaces and be a little more responsible. That is social work. That is civic pride. We gotta develop how we come and pull up room outside your house as cooperative laboring, sharing, doing a little extra within the things, helping out auntie in the lack of resources. The social. I was talking to somebody, so things are crumbling because people are not invested in the social welfare. If you hear what Berman said as the Prime Minister coming in and what he said, you all should read it in the Guardian, where he was going and invest back into the thing, the affordability issues. You have to invest in people. But we have a government and politicians, both on both sides, who feel that investing in people was thing. But to be fair to Donna Cox was setting up these mental mediation, family mediation spaces, one in Port of Spain. It was supposed to roll out throughout the country. They didn't get it and they lost everything. But I said, these are the things we need to see, because if we want people to take care of spaces and we want people to work better in the job that they're doing with less resources, we have to have creative workers. We have to have creative, happy workers. And I'm not seeing that investment. We don't. But these are the things. We talk to economists all the time, but we don't talk to the sociologists. We don't talk to the social workers. We don't talk to the psychologists. The thing. We need to get those interviews. We need to hear their side of the story of how we implement. Is HEMA? They used to be on this program at one time, or the last inception. They used to have them. They used to come and talk about that. How the human resources, HEMA or something. So how they restructure working spaces, the space to be productive, and get people, motivate people is something I not see it. And you cannot change a society by policing and a state of emergency. And everybody feel that is the where we must put the money. When the money, the little that you have, should go maybe more into social development, psychosocial development programs. And that could be around. And you could do that in developmental program. The fellow who was talking about agriculture and things. That is, you could do programmings like that, where you could have young people getting into the agri and using psychological and psychosocial. The education system is obviously one of the things. The village councils and the community centers, let's activate them and invest in them. Next time I come in, I go share, according to you, Wendell, data that prove these things. I have a whole slew of data thing because I like urban planning and what urban planning could do in rectifying communities. I've worked on projects doing those things where we engage the communities, where we look at social money from private sector in the community to raise the funds and develop the programming work with the children to build their own spaces and rectify. There are tangible ways we could change. I sent a proposal to Katija to develop long upstream, downstream programs, rest in community around value adding, where you're retraining people from things. And it's all going on now, being done by the Alliance for Rural Farmers, Fondemans, Dr. Tai Salandi and Diego Martin. It have remnants of it in Toko Foundation and Toko. It are the Hill Rice people in Maruga. There's the cocoa chocolate revitalization, things that are happening. So it have all these things that we could talk about and how we could restructure communities, assets and things, and how we could move communities on a sustainable, resilient manner. But we're not seeing those things. And I could share that with you, Wendell. Yeah, man. That's like
all right. Yeah. Take care. Well, share it with the listeners who think, because I've basically made up my mind how I want the rest of my life to go. You know, I've basically made up my mind. You know what I mean? I'm not, as I say, this radio is the last bastion of stress that I'm dealing with. You understand? And as I say, it's only for the love of you all and for the encouragement of Richard and Sir Charles. But I don't want stress. I want, when you come, well, you probably won't get to see me in my coffin. When you see me, I'm smiling. That's how I want. I want peace. You ever hear the thing what? I want peace. That's what I want. Peace. That's all I crave for in my life. Peace. Happiness. A cup of coffee, a beer every now and then, a glass of wine, a nice Wagyu steak. Peace. That's what I want.
That is the life.
And a full body massage. Are we done there, Peter? We barely hearing you now.
We have one more call on the line. I think we could take one more call.
Yeah, let's do one more and close off now.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Speaking as a former contractor, Wendell.
Mm-hmm.
And Wendell was on point this morning because when you consider what they have done, if you had a young lady last night, I saw her on a page on a TikTok thing, talking about they haven't gotten paid. I think it was that she was alluding to.
Yes, for the NPOPs program.
Yeah. So
yeah.
She have to break, because I don't think she will have a work after today, right? Because they can't speak out against this government, right? Under the pandemic and talk. But I'm speaking as a former contractor, and Wendell, you was so right, because if that young lady who spoke would have never reached media, it was ticket. Because if I was her contractor back then, when she bring her concerns to me as a contractor, I have to listen to her concerns. I will relay the information to my field officer, and she will relay the information to the finance part in CPEP. And they will get on it. And I will liaise with my field officer, and she will liaise with the finance people. And I will liaise with to make sure it doesn't happen on my end.
Your foreman and so on. Your foreman.
I'm forgetting. Right? I will liaise with the person who does my time sheets now to make sure it doesn't happen on my end. Right? So that will have never reached the media. And within a fortnight, they will reimburse that individual, because I have once or twice with me. They will reimburse that individual if either the name didn't go correctly or what have you, or it may have happened on the end of in St. Madeleine, and they will have reimbursed that individual. So that is where the middleman came in. But when it had corruption, it had no corruption, it was just a lie. And you were on point when you were saying that instead of hiring a few people to pay them $250 a day, hire a mass amount of people, which was part of the CPEP program. And see, this thing was well studied under Mr. Manning, you know, and they refined this thing down to the T to bring it how it was when this government came and banished it, right? CPEP was a refined program. The contractors like myself, you didn't used to make much money, but you end up doing this thing for the love of the community, because the money that they're giving it going back into all kind of things, because CPEP's not giving anything free, you know, right? So you have to furnish everything. You have to furnish everything, right? So when you do get paid, it's at $7,000 for the month for all kind of hard work, and it was this program was working so good that nobody used to complain, right? But now, see what again? Because they lied and said that there's not corruption. Up to now, nobody in arrested. Up to now, nobody. It's lies. Just for an election, and everybody's seen it now, right? We can't play politics with people's livelihood, because let me tell you something. The community is throughout this country. Not only are they not well served, but people are under pressure. People are under real stress in these communities, right? And these people, politicians, like they're not aware, or they choose not to be aware of what is going on. I shudder to think that what will happen in the future. This place may explode, you know. Right? This place may explode. Yeah. People are not real pressure. This government put their foot in the mouth, they talk a lot of nonsense, and they to bamboozle the population in order to get votes. And when it came in, a near perfect program like CPEP, which was, I will agree with what Richard was saying. It started out like they started out saying they painting soon, but when you see the impact of what these workers used to, when you shut down this 11,000 workers, everything shut down, you know. All them small talk, everybody getting impacted, taxi drivers, the place hard. Just because they wanted to lie to win election thing, but they cut out the middleman like me. Was the contract was working very hard. I used to get up one morning, certain mornings, every month, I used to get up and go down by Mova Junction there between the bus route and the main road. 3 o'clock in the morning with my CPEP team, them workers come out 3 o'clock in the morning to go on, because there are no traffic now. Yes. Cover the whole area, right? And our next contractor used to do from by the bus route to along my maritime. The reason them workers used to make that sacrifice, right, and get the job done as a contractor, you could not play with me and tell me what this and that, and they had a legitimate reason, because I know if I don't get the work done, my field officer who is keeping tabs on me, and she has job just go. And let me say, let me see this one, and she doing head tongues, right? In plane, right? And you better be there. Otherwise the car get paid. Right? So I'll be on top of my workers to make sure the job gets done. I think every contractor was like that. Right? So the job used to be done because the contractor know if the job didn't get done, they could lose the contract. It's as simple as that. And who will pay the bills when they lose the contract? I used to tell my workers that you can't pay my bills. My bills is many. Right? It was a real thing, but these lying people come in and say that's corruption. That's no corruption. Right? They know it's not corruption because it has no middleman, it has nobody to safeguard anything, as you was rightly saying. A supervisor can say, but we didn't get paid for a former worker of mine. Meet me and tell me, boy, 5 months they didn't get paid. 5 months. That's total mad, and you're asking these people who have nothing to go and beg and borrow money from money lenders and come out here to work and they can't get paid. I wish them luck. Yeah. I would have voted for yellow is the code and forget that part. I'm not going to everybody win.
Thanks, caller.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a airful there, and he ain't lie about anything there. He said it exactly as it is. That's the reality now, and this place is going to explode if we're not very careful. I'm sorry. I hope I am somewhere far when it happens. You know what I mean? And I hope that people don't suffer any more hardships than they already are. You know what I mean? Because when you invest in the police and giving the police the kind of power they have, you preparing for battle. You know what you're doing then. Anyway, folks, I'm done. Have an absolutely wonderful day, despite how you feel. And remember to let go and let God. Tomorrow, our guest is Chairman and Chief Whip, the Honorable Marvin Gonzalez. We'll talk some about Balize house business. Right? That's what we'll do tomorrow, please God. Right? Richard? He gone?
It doesn't seem like Richard is here. Richard's been...
All right. Probably run off. So, Peter, thank you very much. You could close us off there now.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here, we bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay